Someone once said, it's not always that your time is bad. Sometimes, someone else's time is simply better. But today's story teaches us something even more powerful. Sometimes, the biggest obstacles in life exist only in our minds. Let me tell you a story. Long ago, there was a prosperous kingdom ruled by a wise and respected king named Aldren. His people admired him for his kindness and wisdom. He had wealth, power, and everything a king could dream of. But there was one thing he never had: a child. As the years passed, the king grew older, and one question kept troubling him. Who will rule this kingdom after me? He invited the greatest doctors from distant lands. He consulted famous healers and spent countless nights praying for a miracle.
The kingdom weeps with him.
But nothing changed. One evening, while standing alone on his palace balcony, watching the sun disappear behind the mountains, a brilliant idea came to him. Instead of choosing the next king by blood, he would choose the wisest person in the kingdom. A magnificent palace was built on top of a hill. At its entrance stood an enormous wooden gate, and above it was carved a mysterious mathematical formula so complicated that no ordinary person could understand it. A magnificent palace was built on top of a green hill. It had enormous wooden gates reinforced with shining bronze. Above those gates, the king ordered an incredibly complicated mathematical formula to be carved into stone. The symbols looked impossible to understand. Soon, royal messengers rode through every village announcing the king's challenge. Whoever opens the gate of this palace will inherit the palace and become the next king of Aarav. King. The challenge attracted the greatest mathematicians and scholars from many kingdoms. They arrived carrying books, scrolls, and measuring instruments. They spent days calculating every symbol. They argued over formulas. They created hundreds of solutions. But no matter what they tried, the gate never opened. Among the crowd sat a young man named Aarav. Unlike everyone else, he carried no books, no papers, and no tools. He simply sat quietly beneath a large banyan tree, watching everything with calm eyes. People laughed at him. Look at him. He thinks meditation will solve mathematics.
He thinks he can solve it by doing nothing.
He simply smiled. Finally, after every scholar had failed, only 3 people remained. 2 famous mathematicians and Aarav. The king looked at him and asked, "Young man, everyone has tried for months. Why haven't you even looked at the formula?" Aarav respectfully bowed and replied, "Your Majesty, let them try first. If they succeed, I will congratulate them. If they fail, then I will take my turn." The king nodded. The 2 mathematicians worked from sunrise until sunset. They calculated one final time. Then, exhausted, they admitted defeat. "We cannot solve it." Now it was Aarav toward the giant wooden gate. To everyone's surprise, he didn't even look at the mathematical formula. Instead, he carefully looked at the door itself. He placed both hands on the handle and gently pushed. Creak! The giant gate slowly opened. The crowd stood frozen. The king walked toward Aarav in disbelief. "Tell me," he asked, "what formula did you solve?" Aarav smiled and answered, "I solved nothing." While everyone was trying to solve the equation, I asked myself one simple question. What if the door was never locked? Everyone assumed the formula was the challenge, but no one first tried pushing the door. The king smiled proudly. Knowledge teaches us how to find answers, but wisdom teaches us which questions to ask. That very day, King Aldren declared Aarav as the future ruler of the kingdom.
Most doors in this life aren't guarded by locks. I opened it because I believed it was already open. Sometimes, all it takes is the courage to push